there folks, and welcome back to another DMZ cast. Today we are playing on the Final Crusade map as the Laser General versus the Chinese Rogue General, which is basically the boss general from the main game, General Liang, but with additional modifications. Now, as the Laser General, of course, we want to have the base defenses along the approaches, so this bridge over here, the bridge over here, and the approach over here. And of course get dozers getting on that right away and expanding outwards to support this bridge approach. Now, of course, quickly expanding over here as well. Now, of course, using lasers, you want to be careful with your power, as if your power does go out, the laser cannons will not fire. So you need to well micro your power in order to have a positive at all times, or face the consequences. So you can see here more power reactors going up, as the power is starting to fluctuate as I am building too many laser defenses at once and not having the power to support them. However, power reactors going up, the power reactors do provide 8 power, which the laser turrets only take 3 each. And the enemy general already capturing one of the oil derricks on their side. This is one of 3, this is one over here, and one over here, like 2 over here as well. Similarly, on my side, we have 2 oil derricks over here, and an oil derrick way up north, over there. Of course, oil derricks giving extra funds to the capturing army. Tanks coming in against the defenses over here, logging off this approach. And of course, the sort of base defenses over here are sort of in range of this wall. So, while the laser cannons cannot fire directly, they can have a range boost after they killed a unit. Tanks coming in, not really making too much headway. Even if they did some damage, the turrets auto hit over time. Some aircraft coming in with using their napalm missiles. However, napalm does not do too much damage versus buildings. They're more anti-infantry and anti-vehicle purposes. And of course, finally getting up economic buildings such as the supply center to get the supply depot over here, and a few war factories and a few airfields for the later military game. And finally getting out a barracks for the infantry in order to capture these 2 oil derricks, and the oil deck up here. As well as getting up the strategy center as for all USA generals in order to access the T2 vehicles and the T2 aircraft. Now, of course, if we can zoom in on this Gatling turret here, we can see that it is a dual Gatling turret. Whereas in the normal game, it is only a single turret. Now obviously dual cannons mean twice the firepower. However, versus a laser, it really doesn't matter. A few more planes coming in, not really doing too much damage and getting shot down after they fire the payload. Now activating the search and destroy function of the strategy center, giving all of the weapons a 25% range boost. And as you can see here, the enemy has deployed mines around its buildings. Now each of the Chinese buildings has the ability to deploy mines. Now these mines are invisible to the enemy, as they should be. However, you can use a spy drone or any other means of surveillance in order to reveal them. And the alternative method is to just run units into them that will clear them as well. Effective, but not recommended. Of course, the Battle Master tank of this Chinese rogue general is faster than the normal Battle Master and is more heavily armored. However, against the wall of lasers, it's not really effective. Now, of course, we did get up 2 shockwave laser cannons. However, they will not be used to destroy the main base before the main force gets there. It's just a deterrent against nuclear missiles. And in the back, getting supply drop centers, supply drop zones. And these will pay off in the long run as they do call in additional funds over time. Now this infantry here, having done its job capturing those 2 oil derricks, can make its long run up to the north to capture this oil derrick before garrisoning in this building. Of course, running laser cannons along this line in order to guard against aerial attacks. Now, of course, the Chinese generals do have access to nuclear weapons, so a nuke cannon is on the field. This has very long range, so if it does get anywhere near, we'll have to deploy countermeasures such as helicopter gunships, and or just using general powers, as one is coming out right now. Now, I think due to the AI's stupidity, it will get too close to this defensive wall over here and get taken out. There we go. However, if it was a player against me, then they would probably use the nuke cannon's range to its maximum effect. Again, planes coming in. Actually doing a lot more damage since the attacks are so frequent. The turret simply does not have enough time to auto-repair itself, as you can see there, getting destroyed. And of course, infantry is not very effective against fire. And here we have the pride and joy of the rogue general army getting destroyed in under 3 seconds. That was the Emperor Overlord, which is like the Emperor Overlord of the main game. However, it has 4 cannons instead of 2, and it already comes with a Gatling turret. Takes a punch and it can deal out quite a bit of damage. However, the amount of lasers is overwhelming, so it's not really effective. Now, of course, the missile defenders have been modified to fire radiation rounds. So basically, when their missiles explode, they release radiation onto the ground. Effective versus infantry, not so effective versus airplanes, as they can fly above them. Having said that, we do have the countermeasures upgrade from the airfields, which allow us to evade those missiles, or at least 50% of them. And now, starting with the land army, we have the Advanced Laser Crusader, which is like the normal Laser Crusader from the original game. However, it has advanced anti-infantry capabilities. Essentially, it has 2 Gatling turrets on its back, however they are in laser form. And obviously, getting some command trees just to deal with those pesky nuke cannons should the AI actually use them properly. using some Moab general powers in order to deal with some expansions. Not the greatest use for a Moab, but whatever. Really, it doesn't really matter. It doesn't cost me any reasons to use general powers anyways. The Emperor Overlord can make some headway onto the bridge as its high armor can sustain damage for a certain amount of time. As you can see, they're getting slightly further ahead than the normal tank. Now these two shockwave laser cannons are ready. However, their main purpose will be just to probably clear out the mines. This ground force almost ready to move out. And in addition to its firepower, it also does have an auto-healing method, the Emperor Overlord. As you can see there, it does have a propaganda center on its back, which does allow it to heal nearby units and itself. So against normal units, it will be very effective as it can take them out from range and it can auto-heal. However, versus the long-range laser artillery, it's not very effective. And the Advanced Lead Crusader can take a hit as well. It is not some flimsy tank. And there we go, getting off with the land army, moving across to this area before moving up into the main base. And of course getting some aircraft, just in case the land units do not get a good incursion into the main base, we can use airplanes instead. We also have the option of just using the shockwave laser cannons to destroy the base anyhow, so even if the planes and the ground units don't get good incursions, we can simply say click here and the base is gone. Now, units moving up into the main base, long-range artillery, taking out units from afar, and helicopters coming in against Avengers that can shoot down aircraft, not a good idea. And this bunker getting off a good few hits because of the barracks. The barracks does interrupt the line of sight, so which is the main downfall of the laser artillery, that it needs line of sight in order to fire. And of course the nuke cannon firing off at range, taking out a fair few amount of units, however being taken out by the laser artillery. Now, the mines, which I cannot see, are putting in a lot of pain to the approaching tanks, as I finally realize, oh yes, mines do exist, using the particle cannon to take out some of the mines, and utilizing the area of effect of the laser artilleries to clear out some mines on their own. Dealing with this base nicely, just cleaning up a few Gatling turrets, and unfortunately all these tanks running into those mines. Oh dear, oh dear. Now, as we can see here, we have lost quite a few. However, it really does not matter in the long run, as we only have to destroy this power reactor and we'll win the game. And there we go. And that brings us to the end of this DMC cast. I hope you've all enjoyed. Like the video if you liked it, and if you're new, consider subscribing for more content every 2 weeks or so, as I have time. And until the next time, folks, take care.